Hello, today I will be putting stickers on my sketchbook. I got these stickers, I'll link them in the description because I think they're really cute. So I got a lot of the tiny stickers and put them on first because they came in separate packages and a lot of that stuff. For a while I just did that. And then I moved on to the bigger stickers later in the video. But for now, we're going to talk about how to find your art style. While I was speeding this up, I was realizing that I was probably not going to be able to talk about these stickers the whole time because it's not really an interesting topic. But how to find your art style is really a really good topic to talk about. I usually really like watching videos on how to find your art style, and I watched a lot of them when I was learning how to draw. When I was little, I usually really wanted to learn anime before I learned any type of realism. You don't have to draw in a really realistic style to be able to draw an anime. You just needed to understand the human body, like how our head is an oval at the side and how our head is a circle at the front, sometimes an oval at the front, and there's different face shapes with every human. So you have to remember that when you're sketching out something, especially with the facial features. A lot of people don't draw the facial features different every time, which is called same face syndrome. It's not really a bad thing, and it's not really a good thing either, but it's really good to experiment with a ton of different looks. And I really like having the majority of my OCs have different facial features because they're from different parts of the world or they're a completely different person the whole time. So I really like experimenting with their eyes and how big or large they are and their nose and what shape it is because I really like experimenting with the triangle shape, which is much similar to my own. When you're finding your art style, you cannot rush it because every time you try to rush it, it's not really going to help you. I really like watching creators that I love so that I can draw like them. But I'm not telling you to copy their art style because that would be really bad. Because if they spent so long trying to find their art style, I don't think you should spend 4 minutes trying to get yours to look exactly like their one OC, which I think is probably copywriting, and that's bad. So what you probably should do is look at how maybe they do their line art, or how they draw their nose, or how they draw their mouth, or the hair, or the clothing, or the body. Or the hands. I draw my hands really stubby, but I can draw hands if I want to. You can also look at how they draw the poses. Either they use figure drawing or they just go right in and do the outline. Of course, you should learn the basics first and do figure drawing, and that's really the best thing you can do. You can also draw different body types. Short people and tall people are really what I go for. You can also draw more like obese people or really skinny. As if I was drawing a fairy, I draw them very tall or very short with a mushroom dress like I did a fairy challenge. Or if your character is really full of happiness, you could do like a tall character, and then maybe there's a lot of things that signify a lot of people. Like, let's say, an elf. Elves are really mischievous and they're really, really, really smart. So they'd be tiny, like little mischievous little elves trying to hide. So really tiny things are really good at hiding. So you would have an elf be really tiny. Like in the movie Elf, they had a larger elf as a human. So that signifies that he's still mischievous, but he's not as tiny as the others. You would often signify elves with mischievous, and then the tall and larger people to be more muscular would be not mischievous. They'd be very strong. So if you had a very strong character, they would have muscular features. Character design is really fun, especially when you know how to do it. And finding your style is much like that. You can when I'm having art block and I usually am having trouble with my style, I can draw still life. I usually paint landscapes and do a bunch of that stuff. I really want you guys to look at a piece of paper if it's blank, and I want you guys to draw a head in the corner. So as soon as you draw that, you're gonna see like what your character is gonna look like, what its facial features are gonna be placed, like a cross in the middle, and then you could also do a very long face or very short face. The ears I often don't draw, but I like to draw them sometimes because some people's ears stick out and some people's ears don't stick out. So it's really like you gotta think of humans. And I will say this again, as I say it in a lot of other videos, you have to use a reference. References are really special, especially when you're drawing people. And you really need to keep in mind that you're not just a stick figure. Stick figures are really stiff and they don't really have any shape to them. But you can use stick figures to figure out where your character is going to be placed. Like, you can draw very flowy stick figures because it's very simplified and you can like know where to put your features. I usually use stick figures to figure out what my character designs are gonna look like and then color them, and yeah. And then I usually add a little bit of hair to them too, which is what I like to do. And then little smiley face to color eyes and the lips and some blush. I like drawing humans because I can use myself as a reference, or I could use a wooden figure. Like, I have a wooden figure that I got, and I really like it because you can pose it and you don't have to get up and look at the mirror. And we all know that we're going to sit like a scorpion, so like a shrimp. Yeah, sorry. And that's basically what we do. As artists, we don't look perfect while we're drawing, so you can't have your style look aesthetically pleasing or any of that. Because when you're learning, it's not going to look perfect, and you have to remind yourself that your style is not going to please others at first. Because there's a lot of these popular styles that are realistic, and there's a lot of these popular styles that aren't realistic. Like, let's see. When I'm watching My Little Pony as like the human version, when I used to watch it, they had features that were semi-realistic, as in they still look like humans, but they were not realistic as humans. Now, if you looked at Sam Does Arts, he has semi-realistic style, which means he draws things stylized, and he's very good at rendering and doing all of that stuff, which I think is really good to look at. Sam Does Arts does a lot of studying, and I think a lot of studying, and he's very good at blocking out the shapes as simple shapes. He often does the outline before doing the sketch, and I think that's a really good thing to practice. Although he does the outline, you still need to know how to do the facial features and all that stuff. Because, again, you can't copy artists. You have to take inspiration. Like, if you want to have a very semi-realistic style, I would love to watch Sam Does Arts. But if you want to have a very stylized style, I would watch, let's see, Drawing Waffles. I really like her. And I would also watch Static Wool. She's really good at drawing too. So watching all those people is really, really good for stylized styles, especially if they have like tutorials. And I really hope that you guys are benefiting from watching this video and learn a lot about stylization and a lot about, well, stickers. I really hope you enjoyed my rant, and I really hope you guys have a great new year. And yep, my credits to this video is going to be in the description to link all the artists I talked about. And I'll also link a couple of artists that I like to watch for stylization. Goodbye!